Hello, everyone. We are on and ready to roll in a little minute here. Oh, I think I need another light because it's kind of dark in here. No, I think I'm good. We're okay. Welcome, welcome. As you're getting on, please post in the chat where you're listening in from. Your city, state, all that stuff. We are all over creation here, and it would be so good to see and hear where everyone's popping in from. That would be awesome. Just pop that right in the chat. We have a great evening planned. California, awesome. Just really excited about tonight. I see Robin waving. I see people waving. Hi, Sue. Some familiar faces. Wisconsin, Beth Milcooks. Oh, I totally spoilered there. Sorry about that. Stole your thunder. All right. We're going to work hard to get started right on time tonight. So if you have anyone who might be new or newer or newish, or maybe not, they just still aren't setting alarms on their phone, feel free to shoot them a text and just remind them the easy little login there. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay, see me all right. I'm going to go to gallery view so I can see all your beautiful faces. Since I already stole your thunder, Beth Melko. Super Beth. Oh gosh, I'm so excited for tonight. I'll give everyone just another minute. We'll start I usually start 1 minute after. I always say I've got a minute of grace. 1 minute of grace I've got. And the reason is because, you guys, I'm 34. I was perpetually late. I feel like I had a late syndrome. My whole life. And Arbonne really taught me about the value of being on time and starting on time and showing up. So we know that lots of people will be hopping on when their alarms go off. Some people are at events, they're wrapping up. You're going to see people popping in and things like that. Just try not to be distracted while you're listening. My huge encouragement to you is that anytime that you can anytime that you can practice the opposite of multitasking, which is just single tasking, anytime that you can do that in your entire day and in your entire life, you're training your brain to fire so much more efficiently. So when and if you can, if you're able to just really zero in and just join us tonight and listen in just wholeheartedly with a pen in your hand, oh, guys, I have a cupboard full of notebooks from my 10 years in Arbonne that I know are the reason that I've gotten to be able to be where I am today. So anyway, welcome. We're going to get started. My name is Valerie Makowitz, and I'm a National Vice President with Arbonne and Carleeta Nelson's Success Line. We call this the United Nations Success Line. So Beth, just so you know, there are multiple nations on here: consultants, district managers, area managers, regional vice presidents, NVPs, people who are fighting and scrapping for the next level, and people who are getting comfortable at a level they might have just promoted to, and people who are praying and hoping on promoting to that next level, whatever that is for them. So we're just really excited to be here. I'm excited for everyone's commitment, and thank you for keeping your appointments with yourself, everyone, because that's a key to success. And honestly, I don't even want to take 9 seconds away from our awesome trainer here tonight. I'm going to give you just a little intro, Beth, because you're a little dear to my heart. I had the pleasure of meeting Beth. So Beth doesn't know this, but I pretended I was friends with her since I read her little EOA. I was like, oh, I just feel like we'd be friends for 2 reasons. One of them was because of her background in helping people, and that's my heart, but also because she just had the biggest smile. Beth just has this smile that grows on for days. And she's an example of joy like I've never experienced before. And so I'm really glad that she's going to get to share tonight. And I had the pleasure of spending probably the most quality time ever that you don't really get to spend even on a lot of trips, because it was a smaller trip that we earned. There was just a few of us, and we just got to sit side by side a lot. And Beth, every time I sat next to you, I was like, I really hope osmosis is real. I hope osmosis is a thing. I want to glean everything I can just from sitting by her. Just the fact that you would pour into us, we are not part of Beth's success line. She does not gain or benefit from this time with us in any direct or monetary way. But I know her heart is to help people grow in their Arbonne business just because of the love and gratitude that she has for what it's done for her. So Beth, just a couple accolades in case people didn't know. Beth Malquick is our ENVP guest speaker who is ACE Award winner, organizational growth winner, sponsoring winner more than multiple times, President's Circle, 2 MVP challenge trips. And you guys, those are no joke. And she's also is in the top 100 with Arbonne, and she's been a GTC speaker, you guys. When you go to GTC in that big scary stage, Beth tromped right on up there and said, "This is how y'all do Arbonne." And now she's going to get to share with us tonight. So Beth, if you don't mind, you're going to have to unmute yourself, and then we're just going to glean.
Oh my gosh, Valerie. First of all, that was amazing. I feel like I'm a little gritty. Can you guys see me okay? I got cow pictures. Is that better? Is that good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
fine. Totally. You're great.
You're amazing. It's funny when you're saying all those things, you guys, when you see greatness in other people and you speak life over it, it's because you can see it in yourself and you embody it in yourself. So when you were talking about me, I was like, she's kind of talking about herself. Like everything that you were saying is just you in a nutshell. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I really know that this is a privilege to be able to speak to you all tonight. Valerie is a gift. You guys know that. I know Sarah's on here. I know Carleeta, this is your success line. I have sat at Carleeta's feet. I have prayed for the osmosis myself. And just to have the opportunity to speak to that entire success line and all you amazing leaders is really, really, it's humbling and it's just a privilege. And I feel a lot of responsibility around that because what I want to share with you tonight, I hope it stirs something up inside of you. I don't know if any of you feel like you've got this like sleeping giant inside you and you're ready to release it. It's a great time to do that. I don't know if I say something that helps you think of someone that has been on your heart, or maybe they pop into your heart, or you pray about it tonight and you think of them tomorrow and you've got the boldness and the courage to go, you know what? I'm not going to make assumptions anymore. I'm going to call you. I'm going to offer this to you because it could change your life. I just pray that something I say moves at least one person today to do something bigger and to lean in more and to play bolder and to impact more lives. And as a direct reflection of that, it'll change yours. So Valerie asked me to share my story with you. And so what I want to do is just kind of start with, I'm going to start my timer because I have a gift to gab and it's not always great. So I want to share a little bit of how I got introduced to Arbonne. And the reason I want to do that is because I was a girl that all of you could have made an assumption about. And because my girlfriend didn't, and it was so selfless of her to not, it changed my life. Because I said yes to something that was completely unfamiliar to me, that I honestly wanted to not be true because I didn't want it to be true. It seemed too good to be true. And I can share that with you. I mean, I wasn't a yes right away. I was actually that person that is a little irritating when they're so closed off and fixed-minded. But when I said yes, and I said yes with a full heart, and I really kind of burned my boats. And so I'm going to share my story of how I got involved. I'm going to share my story of kind of how I grew in Arbonne. And girls and gentlemen, I am not even close to where I want to be. I have a long way to go. So this isn't a story of this isn't the end of my story. This is a story of small successes I've had along the way that are a direct reflection of some big growing pains. And if you haven't had any growing pains in your business yet, you're probably just living on the perimeter of your comfort zone. And I'm going to encourage you to stretch yourself, because I look back now and it isn't the trips and the GTC recognition and any of that that I'm most proud of. It's that I have pushed through some pretty significant growing pains, and I'm still doing that. And I think 13 years ago, I was afraid to grow, and today I embrace it. So I'm going to share that along my way. I've got a couple tips, and if you're cool, Val, I'll start with my story. Does that sound good? Okay, so I was introduced to Arbonne 14 years ago, in November, almost 14 years ago in November of 2005 when I was 11. No, I'm just kidding. And I want to give you a little bit of background so you kind of understand where I came from. I went to school to be a teacher. I got my master's in social work because instead of teaching phonetics, I was way more concerned with the problems children were bringing into my classroom than teaching them phonetics. And so I was like, I'm going to go and get my master's in social work. I dual concentrated in medical social work and school social work. And in our over-educated city, I ended up doing child abuse and neglect work, which is like the hardest of the hard to kind of get my foot in the social work door. And I did that for about 6 years by the time I was introduced to Arbonne. My husband also went to Madison. That's where we met. He has an MBA as well. So here we were both with master's degrees and having done everything we were told to be successful, right? Working hard, being first at our job, being last to leave, like really just working our butts off, really grinding. And in 2003, my daughter was born. And unfortunately, my husband being in the volatile industry, he has been until recently, he was let go. And we burned up our 3 months nest egg that was supposed to be for a rainy day. It became this tsunami, and we spent that in about 6 weeks with a baby in daycare to keep them in daycare while he was still looking for another job. And then in 2005, my miracle Noah came, and he was let go again. And at that point in our lives, we lived on something called a MasterCard, which had a limit apparently. So here I was in 2005. I had a 5-month-old who had colitis as an infant, which was very hard. We didn't sleep a lot. He didn't eat a lot. He had a lot of medical stuff going on. His intestines were bleeding. It was a mess. I had a 2-year-old who didn't see her mom very much because at that same point I was working 3 jobs and we were passing kids off in parking lots. And my husband was working 2, if not 3 jobs at one point. And my life was so uninspired. But I think more importantly, you guys, I was scared. I woke up every day feeling like somebody had throat punched me because I couldn't really, I wasn't paying my bills. I wasn't living the life I had dreamed of. I was like, how did I didn't sign up for this. What the heck? Honestly, if I were to tell you the truth, I felt a little sorry for myself. I kind of felt like the world was out to get me. So I get this phone call from my best friend from the 4th grade. We had seen each other 3 times in 20 years, you guys. And she calls me and says, Beth, I've been thinking about you. I want to talk about the kids. I want to catch up because it's been a long time. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about something very serious that could change your life. Had she done it the other way, you guys, we had talked for 45 minutes about the kids and the weather. And then she said, oh, and by the way, I think you'd be great at Arbonne. I was in a place in my life, in my mindset, that I would have felt backdoored by that and I would have completely been turned off. And I still didn't have a good reaction, but the way she approached it was like, I have something serious to tell you. So she told me about Arbonne, and you know what I said? No way. No way, Bridget. I am so successful. She's like, why do you have 3 jobs? I'm like, I just like to be busy. I love to be busy. Lie, okay? So she basically said, when you get over yourself, call me. And I pray that you have a friend in your life, someone you love, an upline, a sideline, somebody that talks truth to you and does not let you off the hook because they're not looking to be in a popularity contest with you. They're looking to change your life and to love you enough to tell you the truth. That's the kind of leader I want to be. The truth will set you free, but it might tick you off in the process. And I was ticked off, okay? What I did not have at that point in my life was time. I did not have money. I was losing my relationship with my husband. I was passing my kids off in parking lots so I could respond to emergencies with other kids and go to my other 2 jobs. But ironically, what I had was a lot of ego and a lot of pride. So I feel like, you know, I said this to my meeting the other day. I'm like, the people that are wickedly successful in this world are not going to be the first people that want to criticize you. You know, have you ever noticed that it's really the critics and the people that aren't feeling so great about themselves are the first ones to typically criticize, and the biggest bite they're ever going to get of success is when they bite out of you? I was that person, you guys. I was negative. I was down and out, and she saw through it. She told me the truth. She's like, get over yourself, dude. So here's a long story short. About 6 months later, I was living the definition of insanity. Same thing, day in, day out, day in, day out. I don't know, settling, tolerating. And then my mom and dad, who had just sold a business, my mom went into the hospital on May 23rd of 2006, turned 64 on the 25th, was diagnosed with terminal cancer on the 26th of April, April 23rd, diagnosed with cancer on April 26th and died on May 23rd. So in those 4 weeks, my world was rocked. And I was really mad. If you thought I was mad before, imagine the pity party I had for myself then. So I spent about 6 weeks feeling sorry for myself. And then one day I just kind of woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be a baby anymore. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to figure out how to use this adversity to my benefit. I'm going to figure out how to find a silver lining in this storm. And I'm going to change my life with this Arbonne thing. And I'm not willing to tolerate how I feel anymore. And you guys, it wasn't my bank account that was broke. It was me on the inside. If any of you feel like your self-worth is at the lowest point it's ever been, or your self-confidence, or you've lost your voice, or you've lost who you are, you look in the mirror and you're like, what the heck? Who is this person? That was me. And I would have never known that Arbonne would have been the vehicle for me to find me and find this sleeping giant I had inside of me, but also in the process help me empower people to live their best and fullest lives by coming out of my shell and wanting to live my own. And inspiring people through that process, and in turn inspiring myself, because I felt like I can make a difference. Like I can, by just using my voice and doing something different and going against the grain and being proud of it and not shrinking anymore in my life and not tolerating anything but the excellence that God gave me when I was born. And so I knew this business was going to take hard work. My parents were entrepreneurs. I did not want their storefront, but I loved their lifestyle. Once they had paid off their debt, it took about 8 years working 70 hours a week. And then they got Fridays off. And I thought that was freedom and flexibility, right? But I learned the value of hard work from them. And that was probably what helped me understand the grit and the tenacity and the hard work that this was going to take for mastery. I wasn't looking to get rich quick, but I sure as heck was looking to fulfill my dreams and my vision with Arbonne. There's a really good book, and I'm going to run out of time, so I'm not going to talk about the quotes in this book, but Pound the Stone is a really good book that talks about, what it really looks like. What do you do when it gets difficult? Hard work is the price of admission for an opportunity to be great at anything. And I knew this business was going to take hard work. What I don't think I was prepared for was the kind of work it was going to take inside of my head and my heart, and that connection that had to be forged in order to really see the results that I was dreaming of, if that makes sense. So I'm going to kind of share with you and kind of reflect back on what was really crucial to my success and what continues to be helpful, because I am not where I want to be. Thank God I am not where I was 13 years ago. But I have a long way to go because I have a lot more lives to help. And as long as there's breath in me and life in me, I will be in Arbonne looking to empower and to help people. So I want you to know, as I share this, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. The best leaders are the greatest learners. And I'm still every day going, how can I get better? How can I improve myself? And I'll talk about this, but a lot of it has to do with our associations and being with people like Val and Carleeta and Sarah and everybody else that's on here, all the way, Beth and everything. Like, those are the kind of people that make you want to be better. And you get to be that kind of person in this business that really helps people become their very best and fulfill their potential. So I went district in 2 months, area in 11, region in 21 months, and nation in 3 years. And I did a lot of hard work from district to area, a lot of hard work from area to region, a lot of hard work from region, nation. But honestly, the hardest work has probably come, not just putting my head down and ignorance on fire. It's come with the self-awareness of what leadership takes, probably at my level. But all of those different points were growing for me. And I kind of looked back and I was like, okay, what helped me build that kind of momentum in my business? One was, if you're a note taker, I have 10 points. 1, activity. When I reflect back on my business, I'm like, okay, the biggest surges I had, I was always in front of 40 or more faces a month. All right. Ooh, getting warm. And if I think about that, you guys, when I was a district manager trying to work to area, it was really about me. I was like, well, I can sell this. I can do that. It was all about selling product. And I talked to my new business builders like this. I'm like, listen, I could teach you to sell product, or I can teach you to be a leader. And either way, it's going to look very different, because I'm going to teach you different things and different ways to think. What do you want to be? And I look back, and in the beginning, it was all me. Like, I was in front of 40 faces, all myself, all the time. And then when I started launching people, I was like, holy smokes, if I'm launching people with 4 events and I'm helping them get in front of 20 faces right away, and this person and me, that's 60, right? So that's when I really started to build momentum. You have to be willing to do all things. It's like a 7-layer dip, right? You don't just take off the cheese on the top. You got to dig down and do it all. I was willing to do all things. But when I look back for my greatest momentum, it was getting in front of 40 or more faces through groups, through launching people, not just sitting down and booking them on my own again and again, but like launching people, getting people into qualification for District Direct Me, helping people finish district, helping them build a team. And then eventually I saw leverage. And you guys, when I saw leverage, the light bulb went on. I'm like, holy smokes, this is time leverage. My husband, in the beginning of my business, I did everything for everyone and I was exhausted. And my husband's like, this is kind of like Sasquatch. Like everybody talks about this time leverage thing, but I've never seen it. So when I started to like help people and build people, not just sell product, my business started to change. So just remember this and write this down. You have to have the right amount of activity in your calendar to set yourself up to be successful, because you don't know which event it is, what ask it is, what one-on-one it is, which DA, which event you bring to a car person, you bring to a car presentation. You don't know what event it is or situation it is that's going to be that one person that changes the face of your business through their yes. And so you have to have enough of it. So it's like putting money in a slot machine, right? Gold will come. It's just a numbers game. But it isn't just math and it's not just science. There is an art to it, right? It is that art comes through personal growth and development and becoming the very best leader that we can be. Number 2, I strengthened my launching game. Val, I'm going to go real quick here. So when I started people and I started to seeing duplication, it was when I didn't water things down. I didn't water down my vision to make them feel comfortable. Okay. I didn't water down the activity it took. I didn't water down the tools that they needed. I didn't water down what a commitment to building a business looked like, because that wasn't setting them up to be successful anyways. And honestly, I was lying to myself and I was lying to them if I tried to shrink my vision to make them comfortable. So I painted a vision right out of the gate of like, district manager qualification, absolutely. You could finish district this month. In fact, you can do area qual. I tell everybody that because I want them to know about what's possible. I don't want to assume that they know, and I don't want to assume what they're capable of. If I'm going to make any assumptions, it better be a story that serves them and a story that serves me, okay? I started thinking about the 5 characteristics of people that were wickedly successful in Arbonne, and instead of matching Arbonne to the people who, I was a social worker, right? So I love to save people. Oh, they need it. They need it. They need it. You guys, no, I started thinking, what are the characteristics of successful people? I'm going to look for people with characteristics. I'm not going to look for just people with a pulse. So do they have grit? Do they have tenacity? Do they have a good attitude? Do they have a growth mindset? If you haven't read The Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck, pick it up tomorrow. It's really good. It tells you a lot about people. Are they coachable? And I started sponsoring people that would teach me a thing or two in life and in leadership, not saving people. And you teachers and nurses and social workers need to hear that. I already know that. 3, I started looking at sponsoring targets, not just QV. All right. So I'm trying to teach my team, if you want to go district, sponsor at least 10 150 PCs and consultants. However you do it, 7-layer dip, 40 faces, that's your sponsoring target, because I know that sponsoring precedes next month's growth. So when I was looking to go area, I was told sponsoring targets. I was like 20 to 25. If I'm sponsoring 20 to 25 new people, 150 or higher in my success line or my central, those are area sponsoring numbers. Region was 40 to 60. Nation was 150 to 200. My MVP knew I was going region before I even knew, because my volume was at 23, but my sponsoring was like at 52. And she's like, next month it's happening. I'm like, what? And she's like, next month it's happening. And you guys, guess what? I chose to believe her. This is not a bullet point, but choose to believe what serves you. Choose to believe the person that's gone ahead of you. Choose to believe the things that align with your vision and your goals. And that became my truth. I'm on my way. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to hit these sponsoring targets. Number 4, leadership. And I am still learning. I have a long way to go. I'm still learning. But these are the things that I really think played into it. I started to see a 10 on everyone's foreheads, and I believed in their potential because I feel like we were born for greatness. But I didn't get blurred by their performance. So there was this fine balance between like, I believe you could do anything, but I'm also going to be business minded. I'm going to look at what you are doing. And I have to find a balance between those two things. You can have the same packed calendar, you guys. You could have 18 things on your calendar. And if you have the wrong team, it's going to be exhausting. If you have the right team, it'll be exhilarating, right? 2 different feelings, same calendar. And it depends if you're trying to resuscitate people and manage them, or you've got people that you're partnering with and you are leading with them. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Partnering with people versus parasites. Very different things. Proteges versus parasites, right? I'm going to give you a tip. The moment you find yourself ever blaming or justifying, like, I'd be further this month if my team was doing more. You guys, the moment you start doing that, the moment you start feeling disappointed in people, you need to go out and sponsor new. You just need to get your butt back in the game and go sponsor new people, because nothing will give you grace more than new in your own personal business and width in your personal business, okay? I learned that I could only coach hungry people. I've been doing Arbonne for 13 years. I've gotten on coaching calls and been like, why was that so hard? And I thought back, I'm like, because they really don't want it, because I'm trying to coach somebody that isn't coachable. I can't coach an activity, but if I have someone that's like, tell me more. Okay, what do I need to do? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So easy to coach those people, okay? It kind of goes back to, are we leading or are we managing? And then be really intentional when you are helping new people, and help them build a team right away. You guys, stick with people a little bit longer. And in my organization, I'm like, okay, if they're hungry and they're working and they're committed, I'm going to work with my strong leg. I'm not going to try to fix the broken one. And that's what we tend to do. John Maxwell's like, you got it all wrong if you're always like trying to work with the one that seems broken instead of focusing on the one that's growing. And when I have legs growing, I'm like, okay, I'm going to reach down. I'm either going to build a leader or somebody's going to rise up and take it away from me. And that's really where I've built my strongest legs in my business. Okay, number 5, associations. You guys, 99.9% of the people we spend our time with do not want to grow. They think they're bottles of wine and they're just going to get better over time. And they're not, because you don't get better with age, you get better with hard work, right? So oftentimes we're like, I don't know why my mind isn't great. I don't know why I don't wake up inspired. You're not spending time with the right people. You're like a cell phone. And Carleeta said this when I was with her. She's like, plug in or die, right? Your associations matter. So who do you spend time with that's like-minded? Who fills your cup if you're a leader in this organization, this business, which we all are, because it starts with leading us. But if you feel like you're constantly pouring into other people's cups, how are you getting your batteries recharged? Are you showing up to things? Are you plugging into calls like this? Are you treating it like a business? Is this your opportunity that you've taken ownership of, or do you just kind of pick and choose what's convenient and comfortable? That's not going to grow you, because you need to be around people that go, I see you. I see you, and I also know you're better than that. And I know what your dreams are. I know what your goals are. And your associations are so powerful, you guys. Number 6, start with your why. Simon Sinek talks about this. There's a really good book that's called Start With Why. I think it's very important that we share why we do what we do and what our mission is in our business versus what we do. So when people say, what do you do? I don't say, I'm a national vice president with Arbonne. I say, what do I do? I believe that everybody should have the opportunity to live their healthiest and fullest lives. And my passion is empowering people through education to have both. That's what I believe. I don't talk about necessarily what I do, because people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Look at Apple, like their technology, some of it isn't even as good as some of the technology of other companies, but they talk about why they do it, not here's what we have. Does that make sense? So yes, Arbonne is different and Arbonne is special, but when you're sharing that message, share why it's different, why we do what we do, why people would want to be involved. Does that make sense? Not you. Oops, I think I got muted. No, I'm unmuted. Okay, we're good. So that's a really good book if you want to learn more about that. Number 7, habits. Okay. So I heard a lot about habits, and I'm really disciplined in a lot of areas of my life, but most recently I've been thinking about and learning about myself of where I needed to clean up some of my habits. There's a really good book called Atomic Habits, and he says, don't design your habits around a goal like a title or a goal of QV or a goal like I want to earn AIT. Set your habits around who you want to become in the process, to be the person that's forward wide, to be the person that earns AIT, to be the person that is an area manager. What are those qualities of people that you respect? Have habits that align with those qualities. So for example, when I don't feel like doing something, I'm like, what would Cecilia Stoll do? Like at this very moment, what would she choose? Because I'm not attached to the title. I want to develop my character. And I'm going to tell you right now, if any of you think, well, Valerie's just more motivated than me, or Beth Malcook just is more motivated than me. No, we're just willing to do mundane things over and over and over and pound the stone over and over and over, understanding that it might be the 101st hit, that's not even a word, the 101st hit that breaks the wood, right? And then that's when our Goliath comes and we're ready for it, right? Because we've done the mundane things. So habits are so important, and it's got to be around who do you want to become in the process of growing this business. Does that make sense? I'm going to tell you a couple of habits that have been instrumental for me. And this is real vulnerable, okay? And I'm running out of time, Val. I'm so sorry. I told you I've got a gift to gab. Do I have like 5 more minutes? Actually, I set it for 25 for I technically have 7. Okay. So
you take as long as you need, Beth.
Okay. Are you okay?
You're doing amazing.
We'll be here all night. So
they're really important points, and you're explaining them really well. So please don't cut yourself short.
Thank you, sister. So habits. I noticed recently, I did something called Mindset Reset with Mel Robbins, and pivotal for me. Every morning I listened to this and I started thinking about my mind, because personal growth and mindset's everything in this business. And that's number 8. How do you think? And more importantly, we're only aware of about, I think the percentage, I could be wrong, but 8% of our conscious thoughts. There's millions upon millions of unconscious thoughts that don't even come to the surface that we're not aware that we have. So mindset is so important. And I started thinking, like, what messes with me? Okay. Going to bed, and the last thing I do is scroll through Instagram and start looking at stupid celebrity Instagram posts, or even another ENVP who's got a faster growing, more exciting looking business on Instagram. I celebrate everyone's success. I don't have a problem with people's success. I think it's evidence for all of us. But it's probably not the thing I should be looking at right before I go to bed when I'm having doubts creep in. And an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So I don't lay there 30 minutes before I go to bed and mindlessly just scroll through other people's Instagram stories and their highlight reels anymore, because that's trash. Like, that doesn't help me at all. When I then go to bed and my brain, because the neuroplasticity is changing, the last thing I want in my brain is like doubts about myself and my leadership and if I'm doing it right and should I be like that, right? The other thing is I bought an old-fashioned alarm clock and I put it by my bed. It was $11. I bought each one for my kids too. And I plug my cell phone in my bathroom, and my wake up to an alarm clock. I do not hit snooze anymore, because that puts you right back into a REM sleep. It just makes you tired. I get up. I do not look at my stinking phone for at least an hour to 2 hours in the day, other than to play a book, other than to decide, what am I going to program my brain with today? I'm not going to let the whole world in and the tragedies of the world and other people's stuff. Like, I'm going to decide. I'm going to decide what I want to focus on. I'm going to decide what my day is going to look like. It's totally changed my attitude. You guys, totally has changed my habits. The other thing is reading every day. Super important. Obviously, you guys know that. My other habits have been around now. Whenever I'm doing something where I'm not sitting still and thinking, I am listening to things that are in line with what my vision and my dreams are and what I want to become. Okay. Atomic habits. Who do you want to become in the process of building this business? And you're not always going to be motivated to do it. And neither is Val, and neither am I, and neither has Carleeta been, but we've done them because it's the things that we think are little that compound over time that completely add up. And they either add up this way when we least expect it, or they add up this way, but they're never staying the same. You are completely fooling yourself if you think that you're stagnant right now. You're not. You're either going that way or you're going this way. You're fooling yourself if you think I'm just at a plateau. There's no plateaus in Arbonne, you guys. We're either growing or we're not. So I know I'm a little bit of a truth teller. I apologize for being quite blunt with that, but it's true. Number 8, personal growth mindset, coachability. Are you coachable? Do you just do the things of like, well, I'm going to do this and this because that's fun, but I'm not going to go to the meeting because, Bachelor is on tonight and I'd rather stay home. I'll do a booking blitz from my house, but I'm not going to do that. You guys, it's not picking and choosing if you're committed to this, because you don't understand that your actions have influence. If you don't go to things, your team won't go to things. And frankly, I think we all sell ourselves quite short. There are people that respect us. They're watching us. People that we're prospecting, people that are sidelines. And when we don't commit to things, they're like, well, it must not be that valuable, because guess what? Barbara's not there. So she must not believe in Arbonne. Do people know you're all in? Do people know that you're doing the hard personal growth? Do they know that you're working on your mindset? Do you just go through the motions in your business and check boxes and say, I did it. Why isn't it happening? Or are you like leaning in? Are you being excellent? Are you showing people, no, I love Arbonne. I am hashtag Arbonne proud. I'm not shrinking. I'm not hiding. I am bold and I am leaning in because I'm proud of what I do. And I'm also becoming the best version of myself. I heard this about changing perspectives, and I'm going to wrap up with a couple things. One is perspective is everything, you guys. Everything. Perspective is the only thing that can dramatically change the results without changing the facts. Okay? Perspective is the only thing that can dramatically change the results without changing the facts. How do you change your perspective? You change your mindset. That's personal growth. Take, for example, Mo Boger. Her house burns down, okay? Mo Boger still shows up in her business. She grinds, she hustles, she pushes through, she does her job, right? She continues to inspire people, right? A year later, 17 people on her team in her, I think, nation lose their house in Paradise, California. She pushes through, she grinds, she leads, she acts with vision, she takes care of them, she's paved the way, she knows how to deal with it because she never quit. I had a woman on my team whose her house burned down. She had one foot out the door already. It became her excuse. Oh, I can't do Arbonne anymore. My house burned down. I'm like, well, that's interesting because Mo's house burned down and 18 people on her, including her, houses burned down, and she leaned in. She grinded. It was all about perspective. Does that make sense? And that's how perspective's everything. When someone doesn't text you back, what's your perspective? What's your mindset? Do you have a story that serves you, or are you throwing them under the bus and their character, and in the process, trashing your own? Do you have a story or perspective that serves you? When somebody cancels an appointment, when somebody decides not to do Arbonne anymore, all these things that we come up against, how you respond 100% has to do with your perspective. When I was great, I guess my friend was gracious enough to call me to learn about Arbonne. I lived 1,000 miles away from her. She couldn't train me. She knew I had 3 jobs. She knew I didn't have a penny to my name. She knew I didn't see my kids. She knew my relationship with my husband was strained because we were passing kids off in parking lots. She knew I was down and out. She knew I wasn't living my best life. But she asked me anyways because her perspective was, what if this changes her life? I'm not going to not call her because all these things I just made up excuses about. Is this making sense? It's everything, you guys. Last but not least, vision, number 9. We have to have vision in this business, but we also at the same time have to have microscopic focus on those dailies, because you can be living out in the clouds but never get to the clouds because you're living in the clouds and you're not doing the every single daily kind of things that you have to do in this business to build it. So have a vision, cast it early and often, share it boldly. Do not grow weary in that when people don't understand it. Cast it even bigger and bolder when people don't understand it. That's your job. I remember at my meetings, I'd be like, one day we're going to have a parking lot full of white Mercedes. And there were like 6 people in the hotel ballroom. And they're like, really? Funny thing is, probably 3 of those 6 that stuck around are white Mercedes. And now we do have a parking lot full of white Mercedes. But it was casting this vision that I had that they didn't have yet. And that's our job. Okay, 10. Okay, you guys ready? Take a deep breath because this is my last one before I close. If you want to be successful in Arbonne, which you guys, success in Arbonne is a direct reflection of the lives you impact. I've been working really hard at booking my calendar, my personal calendar, and I've been reaching out to people with vulnerability and saying, listen, I have huge goals this year. And it isn't about a trip and it's not about a paycheck. It's about goals that will only come true if I impact the number of lives that I have a vision for. Will you partner with me in that? I want and believe that everybody has should have the opportunity to learn about how to live their best lives. Here's what I'm going to give you for it. It would mean the world to me, but this is my mission. This is my truth, okay? I am sharing that vision, you guys, and in return, I had this understanding that to get where I want to get, I have to help an immense number of people, right? And I want to. Because when I said yes to this business, I didn't say, yes, I want the title. I said, yes, I want the job. And there's a very big difference. So if you're chasing success in Arbonne, make sure it's significance, because there's two different things. If you want to sign up for the job and the responsibilities that come with that and not the title, because one is fulfilling, the job, and changes lives. The other one is fleeting, short-lived, and is all about you. Okay? One comes with a worthwhile mission and responsibility. One requires commitment and tenacity. The other requires ego, and it's easy to quit. And you guys, when you sign up for the job and all the good that comes with it, you know, there's wonderful things that come with it. The car, the accolades, the fun things, but there's hard things that come with it, with the responsibility to other people. And to much is given, much is expected, right? So when you sign up for the job and you're like, I want to do all of it. I want the good, I want the bad, I want the ugly, I want the peaks, I want the valleys. I want to take ownership of it. It's my opportunity. I want to create the culture I'm looking for. I want to lead. You will have to build width in your business. And when you build the kind of width that will help you impact the number of lives that you have on your heart, it will give you grace with the people that don't get it. It'll give you grace with the people that don't come in at a level 10. It'll give you grace with the people that are the wonderful humans that don't want to do the work, but they want to be wholesale buyers. And instead of resenting them, we love on them because we appreciate all of them. Does that make sense? I know that was kind of heavy, but it's good to think about, because I think sometimes we see highlight reels in Arbonne and we underestimate the commitment and the everyday successes people have in private before those public victories, and what that really means and what they've committed to. So here's my closing. You guys, we are very blessed. I think about this when I go to meetings. I think about this when I'm around Arbonne people. Our world is so special. It's a privilege to be a part of this company. It is a privilege to be in Arbonne. It is frankly a glorious miracle that you're even a part of it, because my friend Nikki Smith said there's a 3% brand awareness. So there was a 97% likelihood that you weren't even going to hear about Arbonne, that somebody wasn't going to reach out to you and say, I think you'd be great at this. I think you could change lives. I think you were born with a gift to make an impact. I think you could dig deep and do big things through Arbonne for people in your life and in the lives of others. 97% chance that you weren't even going to be introduced, right? So it is a glorious miracle. I believe Arbonne was designed to change lives through education, empowering people, and to help people live their best lives and reach their fullest potential. But I believe our community and culture and what we do was designed for just a time as this. We live in the most connected time in the world, but one of the loneliest, most anxiety-ridden and depressed times ever. And what we do in Arbonne, I feel like it's this perfect storm, what we're good at and what we have been good at for almost 4 decades. And now what is so necessary is bringing people together and helping people flourish in a community that is based on serving others, that is a privilege to be a part of. So once you get this, you guys, you will have such an immense responsibility to share this information. You'll be unstoppable. And you won't worry about what people think. You won't be worried about how you said it. You won't overthink things. You'll just want to share, because it is a privilege to be a part of this company. So that was kind of all over the place, Val. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted me to share.
No, Beth, I mean, I just want you to keep going forever. But
no, I did. I went forever. I went way too forever.
I respect your time. Otherwise, I'd take all of it. Mm-hmm. I just think, first of all, thank you for all those bullet points, because I think sometimes we can focus in on just one of them at a time, and we can just like nosedive so hard into it that it feels like so much. But when you realize it's a whole lot of multiple pieces coming together and just faithfully working towards that, I think you just really explained that well. But you said something really incredible, Beth, about signing up. Did we sign up for the job or did we sign up for the title? And I think that's such a healthy gut check for all of us, because that's when we can get title idle. And when we sign up for the job, when we have our mission clear in our heart, like what you said it over and over again, Beth, you fire your mission from your hips so clear and so strong. Like I keep hearing it over and over again, and there's such a conviction in you. And I think that's, I hope that closing takeaway that we can all take is to have that kind of conviction around our mission of why we're doing what we're doing. And I think you clearly laid that out for us. And I already put a sticker and a dog ear in this part of my notebook because I'm going to steal the Beth Malcook training and tell it to everyone because I think it's absolutely crucial. So thank you, friend. Thanks for your time. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And now,
189 amazing people.
Yeah, there's over 200 usually in the center of it, and many people will watch it on replay. So the lives that you impacted were countless, though, Beth. So thank you.
Well, I love all of you. Thank you for inviting me. And my vision is to have 180 people on a call. So there you go. Thank you for inspiring me, ladies.
It's going to happen. Thanks, Beth, and thanks everyone for being on. Now go move all of this forward into activity. Give all of this a place to land because, guys, this was so good. This is the stuff. This is the stuff that it takes. So go give it somewhere to land and go book appointments, create activity, and go run after it. Thank you so much, Beth, and thank you all for being on. Have a great night or great day or whenever you're watching this. Bye.